So, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rich. Thanks for checking in with Kansas City's Network and Connection. And I am here with William Smith, and it's Smitty is what he preferred to be called. If you call him Smitty, that'd be perfect. So, and I'm going to read some stuff real quick. This is kind of our disclaimer, official and unofficial disclaimer. So, for the record, we are not, nor will we ever be giving legal investment health advice on this channel. Our opinions are our own, and if you need those services, you should seek competent advisors in those fields. This information is presented for entertainment purposes only. You have been warned, and I would like to say that this group is started based on the idea from Zig Ziglar, the quote that you can get everything in life you want if you just help enough other people get what they want, and that's kind of what I'm doing. I'm here to facilitate that, helping Smitty and everybody else get what they need. So I'm here to help that. And so, Smitty, I want you to kind of give everybody a breakdown. We met at MAREI. Mm-hmm. So for those who aren't familiar, that's the Mid-America Real Estate Investors Association. And why don't you tell everybody kind of what you do now? Because you got a real interesting story.
Hey, thanks, Rich, for having me. So what I am is I am what they call a note investor. And what it is basically the paper side of real estate. And so kind of in short, it's like being the bank. And we collect payments from borrowers based on their contract. So, for example, I'm sure you've got a house or, have had a house payment and you've made out your checks out to whatever national or whoever. And
Bank of America, whoever
Bank of America, Chase or whatever. So, and that's what I do. I buy paper from banks or other investors. And that's how we make our money, basically, is the not having the real estate side, just the contract side of it.
Right. You kind of own real estate without all the work and the hassles.
Exactly. So, and that's one of the reasons why I kind of got into business, because we actually own real estate now, but it's more or less hands off.
Right.
As a bank, your tenant's not calling you. As a bank, if something breaks in the house, it's on. They're not tenants, actually.
Do you need a recommendation to who to call?
Right. So all of that's handled on their side, and all I do is basically collect payments. So it's really truly passive income.
You sit down and just collect payments all day.
Yes, sir.
Novel concept. I like that idea.
And what we call it is mailbox money.
Mailbox money. It's my favorite kind. So I like, well, I'm not going to lie. I really like all money, but mailbox money is fun.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
So now how did this get started? Right. So how long have you been doing it? I guess too, that's the first two questions I got. So,
yeah. So notes have been around for forever. As long as there's been property, or as long as, basically.
As long as there's been a debt.
Yeah, exactly. As long as there's been property or debt, basically a note is just an IOU. If I owe you something, that's a note. If I have to pay you an X amount of money or whatever it is that I have to pay you, that's a note. Now we're just talking about real estate, but really it came really full circle back around in the housing market crash. When all these banks, had all this debt, and what it used to be is banks would sell other notes to other banks, but everybody was in the same boat. So they're like, how do we get rid of some of this houses that are, inflate or not even what I'm looking for, appreciated values that are down. The borrowers have extremely high debts. So what they started doing is selling them to people like myself, selling to other companies that were not banks that would take on that debt.
Right. Who may have a different lending strategy, right?
Yes.
Your time frame in the banks might be different.
Yeah, my time frames they can be the same. We're more lenient on our side because the banks are, they're federally backed, so they fall under certain stringent guidelines. So for me, for example, if I've got a borrower that say, that may not meet the bank credentials to have that 600 or 650 credit score, you can, if I have a piece of property, I can say, okay, Rich, so you want a piece of property, you've got, maybe $5,000 in your pocket and you want a home, you can give me the down payment and let's create a note and finance it over 10 years, 15 years or whatever, just like a bank. But we're more flexible. We're more easy to deal with those. Basically, it's owner financing. Okay?
Right. Yes.
So,
right. That's the easiest way to explain it right there.
It's owner financing.
Yeah. And then here's what a lot of people don't realize is that note can be sold. So you can put somebody in a house and then you can sell that note to another person that does what you do, or a bank or whoever.
Exactly. And that's kind of how we do it in the industry. For example, I can buy a note that may have, 15 years on it, or, or 30 years or 20 years. Of course, I don't want to be collecting payments. I'm 50 years old. I don't want to be at 80, managing notes. So I could probably in 5 years after I collect those payments, I can sell it off to someone else.
Right. Because there's still a lot of money left on the back end of that thing.
A lot of money left on the table there.
Yeah.
And the thing around our space is that, when you do fit into the bank box, you get a better interest rate. You get the current, whatever the current interest rate is, say it's 3%. But usually in this industry, we're talking 8, 9, 10%.
Right.
And, just depending on the state, there's laws in every state. You don't want to violate any usury laws. So you do have to have some criteria. You still have to, you just can't go out and start creating notes and, overcharging people. So there is.
Yeah, they kind of frown on that, don't they?
Follow by.
Yeah, they frown on that stuff. So,
yeah.
So before I forget, I want to tell everybody, if they want to get a hold of you, and there's your bio and everything is in the description. So your contact information is in there, website, all that stuff. So if you want to get a hold of Smitty, you just reach out to him through all that stuff. And then, by the way, if you're on there watching right now, share this with your friends, join the groups that we've got set up, and share this page with people so they can experience, because this stuff that Smitty's doing is like, I would have thought this was voodoo when I was in my 20s, right? I mean, this would be like, there's no way that you could do this. And it's like totally legal. And it's, people do it all day long and make a living doing it. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's something you just don't even, like the guidance counselor at the high school would be like, what is it? What is this? I don't even know.
Yeah. And I still get that, just like in the group that we're in, Rich, I'm pretty much the only note investor within the group.
100%. Yeah. Which, that's what I love about that group. If the MAREI group is like, man, there's so many people that just do one thing, and you're like, man, I don't even know you can make money doing that all just by doing that one thing.
And it's excellent. Yeah. So, I mean, I've got into the business for a couple of reasons. Is for one, I love to make money just like everybody else.
It's a great pastime.
Try to do it without a lot of manual labor. Right.
Yeah. I did that early.
Right. And for you, just wanting to, I love the idea of being able to work with borrowers, because, especially during COVID and things like that, we're more easy to work with and more lenient. Most of these people in this space, our goal is not to put people out of their homes. It's to, revitalize communities, because we can take back real estate and rehab it and turn it into a rental property, or sell it to another investor that we know that does rehab properties as well. And also, I'm into the business for, bringing other people into the business. So if anybody's interested in doing notes or ever thought about it, give me a call with that. And also for investors, if you're looking to invest money with an investment that's backed by the collateral. And when I mean that, so you can invest your money and know that real estate itself is backed by the collateral.
Right.
So if you
there's not very many investments you can get that with.
Exactly.
And one that everybody needs.
Right. Because I mean,
that's the big thing is like, you invest in bread, it goes bad sometimes.
Exactly. And
real estate's going to rebound.
Yeah, banks are not in the business for losing money. So
Right.
when they do this, they do it because of the collateral.
Right.
So one of the examples that I give people is that, they have this escrow, which is great on both sides because it's good because the person that's borrowing the money, it's all wrapped into one, so they don't have to really worry about it. But it also protects the banks
Right.
because
Oh yeah.
because one thing the banks want you to do is pay your taxes on your property and pay your insurance on your property, and that's keeping their collateral safe. So that's one of
Right.
the things that we do is we ensure that every note that we have has insurance on it and taxes.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's a good idea. And so and how long have you been doing this? I don't know if we covered that or not. The
Yeah,
notes.
actually, it's funny because I started it in 2019. I went to the MAREI group,
Uh
and me and my wife were there, and we were doing real estate stuff. And a lady by the name of Don Rickaball, she's very famous in the note space, and she was there talking about it. And I mean, everything she was saying, I did not understand. Like you said,
um,
I was like, I don't know what she's saying,
I still
but
have the notes, but I mean the notes that I took for about notes, and I don't know 100% what
right.
still right.
But the thing that stuck in my brain is you can be the bank, you can collect money just like a bank. So that's what I held on to. So I started, doing some stuff, YouTube University, and digging around and looking for some
Mhm.
mentors and stuff. And finally found a couple of people that I was following, and I bought my note about 2 months later.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
So
So
I've been,
that's the biggest thing I see is people with indecision and procrastination.
yeah.
And I'm gonna get around to doing this, and 10 years later, it's like I'm gonna get around to doing that. And it's like,
Yeah.
no,
No,
you
at
gotta
that
jump in,
point,
man.
I was like a bird dog. I was on it. I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's
So
great.
I guess what were your biggest issues getting started?
Really just that taking that first step. And you always think you want to know something. You need to know this, you need to know that, you need to know this. And luckily I had a mentor that that JV'd with me. So anybody
Okay.
that's interested in doing this, do not do this on your own. You have to have a partner. And the reason why I say that is because this is a relationship business, and you can't go out and you can't just buy any paper from anybody. You won't be able to find the resources, attorneys, and things like that. And it's just a knowledge base that you have to know. There's certain things that you need to know before you purchase a note. And I'm gonna just give you one example. Because we're buying the paper, and see, I buy them all over the United States. Um, you want to make sure that that collateral exists. So I
Oh yeah.
always send out a realtor to make sure that it's there, because Google Photos, they don't tell you that Google photo could be 10 years old.
Right. Exactly. Street View could be who knows, and the place
Yeah,
burned down 5 years ago, and
exactly.
still there on the map.
So yeah, that's just one of the things that I would say that kind of held me back, just thinking that I needed to know everything. But luckily, I had that mentor that got me going.
Okay, we'll talk more about the mentor here in a little bit. So that's
Mhm.
like one of the last ones, questions. So did anybody tell you it wouldn't work?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
I
yeah.
love those
You get,
guys.
you get people that tell you it's risky.
Oh yeah.
No, don't do that. And it's funny, the people that tell you those things, they don't know about it.
Right.
I've had several people to tell me it's risky, but you own your own business. Okay. You tell me it's risky, but you invest in the stock market,
Right.
So but it's just about the people that just don't know, so
Right. Yeah.
it's
They don't
just
know what
an
they don't know.
Yeah. And the thing is, Rich, is every investment is a risk.
100%. Well, getting
100%.
up in the morning's a risk, man.
Everything is a risk. And it's just people do what they're comfortable with. You get in the car and you drive, it's a risk.
You're right. I mean, that's the way, and that's the way you kind of got to look at it. Is like, hey, I got, nobody ever got wealthy from sitting back doing nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's one of the things that, some of my investors is when I do invest with people, they have to have investor knowledge.
Right.
They have to, or they have to have the understanding that, hey, purchasing notes is not all glory and everything's, great. It just doesn't happen. And there is a risk that's involved.
Yep.
We just mitigate our risk by doing our proper due diligence and education.
Well, that's, every successful business, that's the key right there, man. I mean,
Yeah,
you got to show up and you got to be due diligent about whatever you're doing, because otherwise it will leave and you won't know it until it's too late.
that is true.
So do you love what you do now?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Because everything that I do is from these walls in the office.
Right.
It's either emailing attorneys or checking with your servicer, or doing due diligence on properties, or looking for notes, talking to other investors, things like that. Keeping up on the laws, because when you buy debt from state to state, it can change. So there's things you need to know. Some states you may have to have a license to buy debt in that state. So
yeah. And do you have an attorney? This is not one of the normal questions. Do you have an attorney that you reach out to for that, or is it?
Yeah, so I have a host of resources depending on the state. Some attorneys work in some certain areas.
Sure.
So
Because that would be good. That last thing you want to do is go get in investing and get in trouble.
Oh yeah. So everything that we do, we consult attorneys.
Right. So how did you find this job? Right. Was it just the MAREI meeting and then the light switch flipped and you were like, I'm doing this?
Yeah. So it was the MAREI meeting. And after that, went on YouTube and I started looking at people that was doing it, and reached out to a guy based out of San Diego, got in contact with him. I joined his group, and they have like these weekly. And once you get into this world, you realize there's a lot of people. It's a small niche world.
Oh, yeah.
But then once you get into it, there's a lot of people that doing it, because there's conferences every year, 3 and 4 times a year of note investors that meet in various places throughout the United States. But yeah, once I got into it, it's great.
So are you a part of that group that they like go have big meet and greets and stuff around the country?
Yes.
Because
Yeah,
I mean,
there's
that would
a
seem to
couple
be
of
the
them.
thing. Like you can go meet everybody and see what's going on.
Yeah, they have. I just recently attended a Note Expo in November in Dallas, Texas. It was a 2-day session, and then they have
Awesome.
have
That'd be
one
fun just to be a fly on the wall then.
Oh yeah, it's really great. It's good information, and some of them they talk a little more about notes, and some other they may have other guests to talk about other things, but it's great.
So if somebody watching wanted to follow the same career path, would you recommend doing it the same way, or is there a better way to do it than what you do?
Yeah, I recommend that, it's what you want to do. I recommend there to see that there's a lot of podcasts out there. There's a lot of free information out there. And I always tell anybody that comes to me and says, hey, I want to do this. So I'll give them a list of things. Hey, I need you to listen to this podcast. Hey, I need you to go look at my YouTube video and look at some of these things. Now, if you haven't done that small work just by listening to podcasts and that, then you're not ready.
Right.
Okay? You're not ready, because it's a lot more work and a lot more due diligence involved. So I always tell people, I give them, a few things to do. And just like anything else, you may get out there, you're fishing for stuff, and, it may not be the right time. But when you're ready and you want to come talk to me, here's a few things that I need you to do to let me know that you're serious about it.
No, I think that's a safe bet because, I'll be honest with you. I don't have the time to waste, and I know you don't either.
Yeah.
I mean, if honestly, if everybody came to me and said, "Oh yeah, man, I'm gonna be just like you," and it happens a lot, and I'm like, "Okay, we'll see." And it only takes about 3 days before they go, "Man, I don't know how you do all this," and I'm like, "Right, because it's a lot."
Yeah. So
But you know what? I enjoy what I do. So
oh yeah,
that makes it where it's not working for me, man. I'm having a great time.
right.
So, um, so, uh, it, uh, with everybody watching out there, what do you need help with right now? Like if you'd say like, I need X, what would that be to make your job and life easier?
Oh, I would say just investors.
Investors.
People that are looking to maybe want to do something other than putting their money into the stock market.
Now,
Uh,
I'm going to ask you because this is like a key on this. What is the minimum dollar amount for you that before, because I don't want somebody calling you up with, I got $600,
mhm.
what is that minimum number for you before you really even entertain it? So we don't get somebody, I don't want your phone overloaded with people who are not qualified.
Yeah, I would say you would need to come with probably 25 to 30K because that
Okay.
will give you um, a decent note. And also, depending on the strategy we have,
Right.
uh, whether it's a performing note or non-performing, if we're trying to take back the property, I would say 25 to 30K because that gets you to buy a note. That gives you any attorney fees or servicing fees or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things I wanted to mention is my investors can invest with their IRAs.
IRAs. Right.
Yeah, they're self-directed
Huge.
IRAs, which is
Yeah.
huge. You can make money inside that IRA to where you're not paying taxes, and you can just let it grow.
Yeah. And it only takes one or two and you land a house or something like that, man. That IRA is smoking.
Exactly. So I have 80% of my investments right now in my IRA.
Okay. Yeah. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
So that's the majority of my notes, and then I have a note outside in my LLC is where I'm scaling the business there, and that's where also my JV partners where I do my investing through my with my JV partners.
Awesome. So who did you get? I mean, this is not a normal question. So did you do somebody local for your IRA? Because that might be something somebody might be interested in.
No, actually, you don't. There's several ones out there. I have some good ones that I can list.
Okay.
I deal with directed IRA. They're based out of Texas. There's
Okay.
Quest. There's Mid America.
Yeah, I think Quest is one I talked to a while back. I think they came and did a presentation at Mary too. I mean that.
Yeah, so I have my Roth IRA with Quest.
Okay.
So I've got a few of them.
Awesome. That's good information because I mean a lot of people don't realize, man. I tell people all the time, I'm like, you want to watch your IRA just balloon. Let's go buy some real estate.
And that way, I mean, you still have a little bit of control versus just sticking in. I'm not bagging on the stock market because I'm in the stock market,
Well,
but I
yeah,
have
right.
control. I have control of my money when I'm investing in notes.
Well, and the thing is, like, diversification I think is key in no matter what you do. But in in
Yes,
in, in this instance, like the last time the market popped, it popped on real estate and the stock market. Rents went up, my stocks went down.
exactly.
So
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, wait, that isn't supposed to work like that, but that's what
yeah.
happens.
So yeah, the wife she stresses multiple streams of income. So she just
Yep.
got me into cryptocurrency now. So that's
Oh man, I'm
another
dabbling too.
stream. Yeah.
I'm thinking
So
about buying a crypto miner right now.
there you go.
So that's for a different show, though. We'd have to.
Yeah, yeah.
we'll get
I'll,
we'll get a couple of those under our belt, and then we'll talk about that.
I'll
So,
listen to that one for sure.
so now we kind of touched on this earlier. Do you have a mentor?
Yes, I actually have a couple.
Okay.
And I always suggest in anything that you do, get multiple mentors, just because you can get different views.
Hmm.
So yeah, I started with one, and now I have three, and I'm looking actually for another
Okay. And how did
because
you find them?
basically the first one that I found them via YouTube.
Oh,
And
awesome.
then once I went to YouTube, then I attended my first note conference. And after that, I found several people that are out
All
here
right.
doing training, that are doing certain things because everybody has a different strategy and a different knowledge level on how they do their business.
Yeah.
So I like to take a piece from here, here, and here, to try to see how I want to do mine.
Next time that note, they're one of those note things. You got to let me know.
Sure. Oh,
I might just go to walk around there and just try to soak it in. But because those are awesome learning environments, man. You just get people in there who
it's actually great.
and
you may turn into a note investor. You never know.
I guess stranger things have happened. So
Right.
I'd have to do like a lot of research and stuff. I don't know. Like scheduling all that research is tough. I got all these other things I'm doing, plus I'm starting my farm and all that. So
and that's a perfect segue into for people that are busy, such as yourself, and you have just money sitting around in an IRA.
Yeah.
You can invest with Note Starter, to give you some substantial returns higher than on the stock market.
Well, I mean, that's, if you're doing it and you're successful already, that's the opportunity that you present to people, right?
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, and then how can people get a hold of you? Why don't you give us your, all your contact info on here? I know it's in that description, but we might as well do it on here too for folks who are watching at home.
Yeah, sure. My phone number is, my cell phone is 816-786-6866. You can call me or leave me a message. You can also Google my company at Note Starter Capital Investments. You can reach me on YouTube as well. Just search Note Starter, put it all one word, because if you just separate it, you'll get a starter from the engines.
Oh yeah, right. That's
right. So if you put in
not you apparently, right?
Right. Yeah. If you put in Note Starter, all one word, then I'll pop up. I'm also on LinkedIn under Note Starter and Facebook under Note Starter. And also,
Awesome.
I don't know if I gave you my website. It's www.notestarter.com. And my email is wsmith@notestarter.com.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you again for coming out today. It's pretty awesome to have you because, I mean, this is like I swear it's like voodoo. You just go, man, how does this even work? And I know a bunch of people are going to be reaching out to you because this is like, I think the most underutilized portion of real estate is what you're doing right now.
Yeah,
People just have no idea. And I think especially within the next 10 years, when we see what's going on in the market, your business is going to explode.
Exactly.
Because the opportunity is going to be there to pick up a bunch of notes that are not performing or underperforming. And people are going to be able to go, I need to do something with this money here. Let's go buy some of this.
And let's go buy some notes. Yeah.
Yep. So, but anyway, any final thoughts before I let everybody go?
I want to thank you for having me. And like I said, if you guys are interested in either, for one, starting in the note business, or if you're interested in investing, please give me a call.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Don't forget to like and share and subscribe to all these different things we do in here, and reach out to Smitty because that guy's, I mean, I don't even know. He knows it so much, and we can't even cover it in this short little video. But anyway, I look forward to working with you in the future. And thanks, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, Rich.